All right, this video is gonna be the old 30-06 versus the 6.8 Western. Two calibers that are very, very capable of taking everything in North America. Which is better, which is, the difference. These are actually very similar bullets. They're both Nosler AccuBond. The 6.8 Western, they call it the AccuBond long range, but it's, for all intents and purposes, the same as the regular AccuBond in the 30-06. These are both factory loaded ammo. So which is better, and amazingly, out to 500 yards, which for, I'd say, the average person, that on a whitetail, that is extreme. Unless you're hunting like in Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota. But, as far as velocity, the 30-06, this is 180 grain AccuBond, at 500 yards is 1926. So, and the 6.8 Western going 2251 feet a second. 500 yards, 6.8 Western is obviously winning. And at 500 yards, 6.8 Western, according to these, has dropped 36 inches, and the 30-06 has dropped 55. So, again, the modern 6.8 Western trajectory has dropped about 20 inches less than the old 30-06. And then if we want to look at energy, at 500 yards, we're looking at 1856 on the 6.8, and we're looking at 1483 on the 30-06. So again, we're talking almost dang near 400 foot-pounds difference. Now, if we get into, can you use a 30-06 and 6.8 Western on roughly the same size game? I guess they're gonna, from what the experience that I've had, I've only taken one animal with the 6.8 Western. It was a whitetail buck at 250 yards, and he did not go very far. It was with this 160, what is this, a 165? Yep. AccuBond, and hit him way back in the ribs. And so, kind of a poor shot. He went 5 yards at the most. Found him pretty, he did at one shot, dead, better than hell. 30-06 can do that too, especially with better bullets. Again, I'm gonna have to, tear into that Winchester PowerPoint. I never had good luck with them in the 30-06, but it really comes down to what you're using these for. 30-06 really shines under 300 yards. And actually the longest shot I've ever taken on a game animal was a whitetail at 400 yards. I hit him in the spine with the 30-06. And that was actually from a deer stand. The last day of the season, about 15 minutes shooting light left, and we needed to fill some tags, and I said, well, there's a deer. Pow. Party hunting is legal in Minnesota. So, anyway, would the 6.8 Western have performed any better? Probably. It was kind of a lucky shot, I guess, for me, because at 400 yards, yeah, it's dropped 33 inches. I obviously, when I torched off, was probably aiming above the deer, but if I hit it in the spine, considering it's dropping 30 inches according to this, and that wasn't an AccuBond, that was Winchester Ballistics silver tip, I believe. But yeah, so but the 30-06 really shines, I would say, under 300 yards on deer, elk, caribou, obviously, sheep, Dall sheep, moose, especially if you go up, if you're shooting a premium 180 grain bullet with the 30-06. But then, of course, if you're wanting to step it out a little further, or you just like guns, like me, you buy as many as you can afford. The 6.8 Western is kicks a little harder, but and obviously a faster rate of twist. And mine is a Model 70. Both my 30-06 and 6.8 Western are Winchester Model 70s. This is a 1 in 10 on the 30-06, a 1 in 8 twist on the 6.8 Western. And obviously, how they came up with all this stuff, I don't know. Modern Doppler radar or something, I guess. How they figured out to come up with design bullets like the PRCs, the Creedmoor, obviously. Well, I guess Creedmoors now, there's shoot 4 or 5 of them. You know, obviously, this is the 6.8 Western's got more modern science behind it, I guess would be the word. But really, for what most hunting we do with, you know, with the more modern bullets and powders, 30-06 is not that far behind. And truth be told, the experience that I've seen moose, Alaskan moose, was the bigger bullet, the faster they went down. That's just my experience. And these were actually the very fastest I ever saw a moose go down was a 338 Lapua. And of course, that's a lot. That was the only thing I've ever seen drop an Alaskan moose. I do know he was shooting Hornady ELDX, which I've heard mixed reviews on. I've never used them myself, but I think, well, and then I did see another hunter on that same trip use that same rifle, and he put 3 rounds into a moose. Same bullets, same rifle, and then the guide had to put another, I want to say 3 it might have been 3 rounds of 300 Weatherby into the moose. I think the smallest I saw a moose taken with, I don't know if it is really small. The smallest diameter was 28 Nosler. And that, I think the client put 3 rounds in, and then one round, the guide with 300 Weatherby. So I think there is a little bit of truth just from what I've seen. I've seen a moose shot with 338 Win Mag that 2 rounds and went down. So I kind of hold to the truth that a wider bullet kills faster. Why that is, I don't know. at least on stuff bigger than deer, whitetails anyway. From what the 6.8 Western has done on whitetails, I've been pretty impressed. But of course, that was just one. I'm just using my experience. What other writers say that the 6.8 Western hits a lot like a 300 Win Mag, but with substantially less felt recoil. Well, I don't have a 300 Win Mag, and I don't know if I'll get one now because I have the 6.8. But that's where I'm going with as far as the effectiveness of that, the 6.8. But like I was saying earlier, I kind of hold to the theory that on animals bigger than deer, the bigger the bullet, the faster the animal will go down. I mean, if you look at any ballistic charts, nothing supports that at all. It's just what I've seen. As far as energy, velocity, the smaller bullets should perform, or the smaller diameter bullets technically should outperform the larger diameter bullets, but from what I've seen, that's just not the case. Now, have I seen the 30-06 perform extremely poorly on whitetail? Yes, many times. And again, I blame that more on bullet construction than anything. So I guess it comes down to now, but I have seen deer shot with a 223 Remington. Well, it was an AR. I was actually in a different stand. It was my sister and my brother-in-law. And my brother-in-law told me it was a 55 grain varmint bullet. So I didn't know exactly what the bullet make was, but he said it was 55 grain varmint bullet. That whitetail dropped 223 at probably 200 yards. I've heard very good guys shooting deer with 22 250s and knocking them right over. So, but there again, we're talking deer. So when we get bigger than deer, now I haven't taken a moose, a sheep, or caribou, or elk. I'd like to get on an elk hunt, hopefully this year or maybe next year, with the 6.8. And we could see how it performs for me. But yeah, that's just kind of my personal experience right now. If you had to choose between the old 30-06, the old standby, or the 6.8 Western, if you don't plan on shooting anything past 300 yards, I think the 30-06 is going to be your better bet. If you are taking stuff over 300 yards and going to be bigger than whitetails, up to moose. Getting into bears, I would go back to the 30-06. But for hoofed game over 300 yards, I'm probably thinking the 6.8 Western is going to be your better bet. Just using my anecdotal experience. So anyway, that's what I got for you today. I'm Pete Refshaw with Refshaw Outdoors, and keep your powder dry.